Welcome back. Like I said before the break, we're going straight now into the discussion about the new APC leadership. The new APC chairman, former Governor Ganduje, has taken over the reins of the party. We're taking a look at what some persons within the party have to say about this, particularly the North Central zone and their leaders. I have in the studio with me the spokesperson of the APC North Central Progressives Forum, Shamsuddin Abubakar Makolo. He joins me now to speak on that issue. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with the basis. What's it like? What's the mood in the party? You have a new chairman. Normally, these things come with a breath of fresh air, a new direction, and we saw that the president and I believe his vice, charged the chairman to be innovative, to carry everyone along, to do the needful, and so on. But what's it like, particularly for your zone? You speak for, or you're with the North Central zone, which is where the former chairman who resigned is from. So what's the mood like?
Well, we at the North Central zone are not happy with the decision to take the national chairman of the party to the Northwest. Like I said in my last discussion, the national chairman was brought here to balance the political equation of the country. Ideally, nobody would have done this if we are going into an election. So if the national chairmanship was meant for the Northwest, why didn't they take it there before the election? The national chairman was in North Central. We went into election. We worked tirelessly. We won the election. And now the national chairman has been taken to the Northwest. We have been shortchanged. And people are not happy about it. Particularly the North Central stakeholders are not happy about this. Because as it stands now, nothing virtually is in the North Central.
All right, but that being said, some might wonder, is this the fault of the party or other zones? Because as we stand, I believe initially former Chairman Abdullahi said he would speak when the president was around. And I'm not sure we've gotten that breakdown of what exactly happened or why he left. I don't know, maybe you have the information. But people might say, well, he's the one that stepped down. Nobody forced him to. Is it that there was an expectation that a North Central person should be found? Because some people say the balancing is about North. It's not really about North Central, Northwest, Northeast. It's a Northerner who's still taking over.
Yeah. Two persons resigned on that particular day, not just the national chairman.
True.
The national secretary also resigned, who is from the Southwest and from Osun State, particularly. And the new national secretary that replaced the former national secretary is from Osun State, not even another Southwestern state. So in this country, we have 6 geopolitical zones. We have the Southeast, the South-South, the Southwest. We have the North Central, the Northeast, and the Northwest. So if political positions are zoned to any particular zone, it belongs to that zone, the states within that zone. In the case of the national chairman, if the new national chairman is coming from either Kwara, Kogi, Niger, Plateau, or Nasarawa, or Benue, nobody will complain.
What about FCT?
FCT, yeah, it's still within the North Central zone.
But so some persons might say this is happening because of the president the party has set in other issues. Take for instance, the party fielded a Muslim ticket, and a lot of Christians, northern Christians, cried out that they were marginalized. At the end of the day, they didn't quite get exactly what they wanted, because the message was capacity over identity, so to speak. Is that what's coming into play here? As the party, or let me put it this way, are North Central APC a victim of what they've allowed happen at the higher level?
Well, I won't say the North Central APC is a victim of any sort of game, understand. But people either in high places, I would not want to accuse anyone now, particularly, of what happened, because the decision was taken at the neck. So stakeholders from 36 states, state chairman, zonal chairman, national former, speakers, sitting speakers, Senate presidents, they were all there. So if I'm speaking now, I'm speaking to the party, not any particular individual.
So what can be done at this stage? some people say spilt milk, you know. So what do you do going forward now?
Yeah, well,
or let me rephrase it. What would the North Central region see that will make them feel they're still included? Because I doubt the national chairman position can be taken away at this point.
Yes. I like the point that you just made, that we feel included, because as it stands now, our sense of belonging has been taken away, and you know what that means. The North Central voters are, you know, independent-minded. They are independent-minded. It's not, the North Central zone is not a zone that one man will sit and control 1 million voters. No, we are not like that in North Central. You understand? So now you've taken the national chairman to the Northwest. Is either they bring back the national chairman, or the national legal advisor, the national organizing secretary, and the national financial secretary that went to Northwest when the national chairman came to North Central should be brought back. That way to be balanced. But you can't have everything there.
What about when we talk about, you know, a listening ear? Do you feel at any point, at least, you know, like they say, the majority will have their way, minority will have their say?
Definitely.
Are you feeling like you're being heard at all? Is there room for negotiation, or has the decision be taken and, you know, whatever happens should happen?
Yeah, actually, we've written the president and we've copied all relevant stakeholders, you understand, to, you know, listen to our cry and do what is right. Because the North Central Zone, going by the 2023 general election, contributed, I think, the third largest vote after Northwest, Southwest, then North Central. So it's not an insignificant zone. And North Central is a core APC zone. Right now, we have 5 state governors in the North Central. It's only Plateau that is PDP. So a zone that you have such presence, you don't just play with the emotions of, you know, party loyalists and faithfuls.
So the question now is, you know, people say there's the carrot and the stick. I believe at this stage you are trying to talk with the leadership and all that about your yearnings and your, you know, your grievances. Yeah, that's the word. So, assuming, you know, you don't get what you want, is this a deal breaker? Is this something where you might take matters into your own hand, like we've seen in different parties? Take, for instance, the PDP. Governor Wike says he was on a mission for South president, for inclusion, and when he wasn't listened to, or when his demands were not met, to an extent, some people say he brought down the party. Now, as a minister under an APC government, his state was won largely by the APC, you know, and other, you know, colleagues of his, same thing. So the question now is, for you, are you willing to consider that alternative if you're not listened to, or is it a case of, you know, just licking your wounds and hoping for a better situation some other time?
Yeah, North Central is a very loyal zone, and we are very peaceful. You can check the North Central antecedents politically. We don't have rebels in North Central, but we will always air our view, you know, when things go the other way. And we believe this way, they will listen to us. We have civil way of approaching issues, but we do not tend to be violent. We do not tend to, you know, have personal attack on anybody.
Right, so what about, I'd just like to get your thoughts on the actual chairman. We have former Governor Ganduje at the helm of affairs now. What do you think this means for your party, away from his location or his zone where he's from, in terms of leadership, in terms of moving forward? The former national chairman, you know, to an extent was said to have worked against the current president, and that's led to some beginning of some bad blood, which probably culminated in what we've seen today. But what do you expect from former Governor Ganduje? How do you think your party will fare?
Yeah, I'm not doubting his capacity, you know, to give good leadership at the party level. He has the capacity. But what I am saying, or what we are saying, is that we also have people with capacity. Are you saying the 6 states in the North Central, including FCT, does not have anybody with capacity? to lead the party. As for capacity, His Excellency Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has the capacity to lead the party. He's an old man, he's a veteran, and he's a politician, you know, to the core. But then, when you go to Niger, you can have over 1,000 people who can be national chairman. You go to Kogi, you go to Kwara, Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, including FCT. So there are people here who can be national chairman. It mustn't go to the Northwest. But as for the capacity, I have no doubt he has the capacity to do the job.
All right, that's fair enough. You raised an interesting point. I'd just like to get your thoughts on it. Currently where the ministerial screening is still ongoing. Yeah. We've just heard that former minister Festus Keyamo, his screening has been halted or suspended, perhaps for one reason or another. Yeah. But I believe for the first time in a long while, or for the first time ever, I'll have to confirm that later, but at the very least, the last administration did not have a single representation of the FCT in the FEC. Yeah. Now we've had one nomination in that list that the president sent. Yes. What do you think this means? You know,
it's a welcome development and is a plus to the North Central Zone. We are happy about the decision of the president to nominate a minister from the FCT. This is the first ever. It's the first ever in the history.
But what if he ends up as a minister of state? Is that still good enough?
No, it's okay. It's okay. The president has the prerogative of where to place his appointees. So we would not tell him we want here, we want there. No. Everybody has rights. Maybe going forward there could be redeployment or reshuffling of the cabinet and what have you.
Right, but generally speaking, the nominations you've seen from your zone, do they represent the best of you?
Yes, of course. We are okay with what we have from the North Central Zone.
You feel
we have Saibi and Malagi in Niger. We have Shaibu Abubakar Audu in Kogi. We have the Prof in Benue and Plateau, and we are okay with what we and Zafania Jesalo in FCT. We are okay with it.
You know, because there are questions about capacity and rewarding of political favors. Is it balanced enough in terms of delivering when at the end of the day you can beat your chest and say that everyone who came out as a minister from the North Central performed, or it was just a way of paying you back for your votes?
No. They all have capacity. You can go through their CVs. All of them. They have achieved a lot, in terms of their private life, in their public life, and even in politics. I don't want to start going into what they've done, individually in their, workplaces. Like the woman from Nasarawa, that's Iman Suleiman. She was the Federal Commissioner, Refugees Commission. She was also DG NAPTIP in the last administration, and now she's coming as a minister. So you can go through their CVs. They are okay, and we are okay with them in the North Central.
All right, we're about rounding up now, but still back to the issue of the party. We saw that there was a period where some northern Christians sort of, will I say, left or expressed their displeasure, and even after winning, we never really saw how that went about. Talking about the former Speaker House of Representatives, and so on and so forth. So, as it stands, what is your final advice, so to speak, or admonition to the leadership and to all involved as the way to move forward, so that everyone is carried along?
Well, my advice to the leadership of the party is to, carry everybody along, give everybody a sense of belonging. Because a whole zone like North Central, being given or being left out, it says a lot.
Is there any part of this that you think the politicians from your zone have, some blame to take in terms of how they play the politics? Because people usually say that power is not what's the word? It's not giving. It's taking.
Charity, yes.
So, do you think they play the politics well? Because prior to the emergence of Abdullahi, we saw that it was the candidates were quite tough. I believe I remember Senator Al Makura. We had some other North Central strong candidates, Now, we were not even seeing them with the contention after Abdullahi has gone. I remember Abdullahi came in through consensus. The president basically said this is who he wanted, and that's who he got. So, should the politics be played better from your end, do you think?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the way we are playing the politics in North Central. After all, any politics you're playing or anyhow you're playing it, the end result is what's your contribution to the party? How have you been able to be, supportive, or the level of votes that you are bringing from your zone? Like I said earlier, after Northwest and Southwest, North Central came third in terms of the number of votes that we brought to the 2023 general election. So how else do we play the politics? Because at the end of it all, you canvass, you negotiate, you do whatsoever. What you want is the vote, and you got it. So,
all right, that's fair enough.
So I don't think there is any other special way we should play politics.
Well, thank you. That's fair enough. I believe your message has been passed. We'll see what happens, and I particularly take note of the things we hope to see. We'll be watching out if we see those things as time goes on. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And I would like to also say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever victory and success the party is enjoying today is a product of our collective struggle. They should take that into cognizance and do what is right for peace to reign.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shamsuddin. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's all we'll take on this segment. Like I said, we had a conversation on the new leadership of the APC, particularly looking to hear from the North Central Zone and how they feel about that. We've heard that now from Shamsuddin. He's a spokesperson of a North Central group within the party. Now we're moving on to the issue of the Niger crisis. We'll go on a short break. When we return, the program continues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.